annual meeting to order. There's at least 40 people, so we made our quorum of 30, and we've got lots more coming in, so you all just come on in and find a chair. Okay. We got a lot of business to do. We're going to try to stay on time. First, Chuck, do we have any board members here? I haven't seen anyone yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Well,
We have
we'll
quite
just-
a few people coming in.
okay, I think I see Paul back there. Our board chairman, Paul Hilders, is here. Wave your hand, Paul. Thanks for coming. Okay. You should have a handout that has a moment of remembrance, that has a list of the residents who passed in the third quarter. So if you will pause with me for a moment of remembrance. Thank you. And then I would like us to remember Cynthia Rodriguez, and I'd like to announce that you can give. There were some people who still wanted to do some things in remembrance of her, and so WRA will accept donations that will be, her family will be notified that a donation was made in remembrance of her. And the money we collect will go to the ACC scholarship. So if anyone, still wants to contribute to that, if you could just get a check to our treasurer, Sharon Verlander. Where's Sharon? Closer? Is that better? Okay, thank you. And then we want to recognize our new residents. You have a new move-in resident, so you have a handout on that. Those of you that are here, would you stand up, please, and let us recognize you? We may have to do this at the end, since we may have a few more coming in. So, anyway, we have a good number of folks coming in, and we'll have a lot more residents moving in soon. Okay, Lori, recognize you for the minutes. You want to just come to the podium?
I think you all have a copy of the minutes. I think you all have a copy of the minutes. If not, there's some available as you come in. I guess I would accept the motion. Are there any additions or corrections?
I move.
All right.
Julie Price,
Julie
you
moves.
second.
Is
All
there a
in favor?
second?
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes are accepted.
Who's the second?
Julie.
No, I was the first.
She moved.
Oh, I thought you moved to have them accepted.
I moved to the second.
Okay,
And then you second, okay.
Thank you.
And they are accepted. Sharon Verlander.
I'm short.
There you go.
Most of you know me, I'm Sharon Verlander. I'm the elected treasurer. And I don't want you to get excited because I curl my hair today. It won't happen often, trust me. Thank you. Attached to your agenda, you will find the balance sheet and the profit and loss for the first 11 months of 2022. There's one glaring error on the balance sheet that I'd like to point out before one of my friends points it out for me. I misspelled a word. I misspelled accrued. It's on the balance sheet. I do numbers. I don't write. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about the balance sheet or the profit and loss? I mean, I'll be happy to answer what I can up here. If you have questions you'd like to talk to me about privately, please.
Okay, you wanna move approval?
So move.
Who did that?
Paul.
Paul moved, approval, is there a second?
Bobby Carlson or Bobby? Back in the back. Back in the back.
I can't see who you are.
Bobby.
Okay, Bobby second.
Bobby.
Bobby Collins.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And these are the, financials as amended to spell accrued, not accrued, but accrued. All right, thank you, they are approved.
May I say one other thing?
Sure.
This is my fourth meeting. No, 3 quarterlies and the annual. And I always do this, and I know I'm right. But for 3 days before I have to get up here and stand in front of you, I worry about it. I try to anticipate any question. You've never asked any. Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna make a couple of announcements before we, get into the rest of the items here. One is, you all should have picked up this logo ballot, as you came in. Did anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Chuck has suggested that we need a way to distinguish ourselves, the Residents Association, from Westminster. Right now, we just put Westminster's logo on all of our things, when we send out letters or whatever else, and we do need to have that distinction. And so, these are 4 options that have been proposed by, a company that works for Westminster to help them with their logos and things. And so these are available for you all to give us I'd like your first choice. But if you want to write on this to change them up some way, if you want to propose something else, there's room on the back. This is kind of a straw poll to kind of get a feel for what you would like. And whatever emerges out of this, I'm asking you to return the ballots to me. And then I will collate them, and at our January executive committee meeting, we plan, depending on what kind of feedback we get from you all, we hope we have enough of a consensus that from the residents that we'll offer 2 to the executive committee, or if it's a full consensus, we'll just go with whatever you all have recommended. But we'd like to try to get this in place January, if there's enough consensus. If something different emerges that people feel strongly about, then we'll go ahead and do it in February. This is not a big rush to get this done. But I really would like to have your input as residents. And if you would, you see that you print your name at the top and then sign it and your apartment number. And each resident gets 1 vote. So, thank you.
When do you want them by?
It would be nice to have them by the end of the year, but as long as we can get them before by the, let's see, the second Tuesday of January, because I try to get all the executive committee items out that second Tuesday before we meet third Tuesday. Thank you, Paul, for that question. And the other thing is that many of you have already seen this, but we have our Westminster Residents Association committees for 2022. We have pictures, we have their the information about their mission, etc. in here, and different committees do lots of different things. And at the end of this meeting, like we usually do at the end of every annual meeting, is we have members from that committee, either the chairs, in most cases it's the chairs, or a member of the committee that's back there to answer questions, and we ask you to sign up. Some of the chairs, if you don't sign up, just think you don't want to be on again. So if you're on a committee now and you want to be on again, I think Charlie told me that for food committee, that anybody that was on that still wants to be on, they're on, and then he's got some slots that he needs to fill. So, but do sign up. And we know there are people that can't be here today and are not going to be able to sign up today, but those sheets will be put together in a notebook and they will be at the marketing desk. So anyone that didn't get to sign up today that wants to sign up can go over to the marketing desk, and those sign-up sheets will be over there. And you can download this report with color pictures of all the committees from the portal right now. And so if you want a color copy, you can do that, or you can download it yourself. You can download it yourself for a color copy, or you can also go by one of the receptionists and try to find a time they're not busy, and they'll download one for you. But a lot of people want to know who's on those committees, and is there somebody that even if I don't want to be on a committee, I'd like to talk to someone, and I want to talk to someone I know. And so that's a part of what we're trying to do, is recruit a broad array of people on these committees, so that hopefully there's not a resident that won't know someone that they would feel comfortable talking to. So. Okay, at this point, I'm going to recognize Gail Ross. If you'll come up to the podium, please, Gail.
Thanks to the generosity of the residents of Westminster, we were able to exceed our goal of $200,000 for the Residents Appreciation Fund. We received $574,000. I'm pleased that we will be able to reflect this in our checks to our dedicated associates. Also, I'd like to invite you on the 13th of December here. We will be handing out these checks to our associates and hope you will come. 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
Okay, thank you, Gail. Okay, WRA ACC Scholarship, Cynthia. And Stuart.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cynthia Leach. I live in the Windsor building. I've been here since 2015. And one of my duties is to be the liaison between the Residents Association and the ACC Foundation. We endowed a scholarship last year with the ACC Foundation, and this year we added nicely to it. We've had 2 residents that have contributed to it, and so I'm up here to talk to you. It's the end of the year. If you have RMDs or you're looking for donations that you'd like to make, I'd like for you to consider this scholarship. I want to clarify one thing. Some people are really confused. Chuck has a fund that he administers that's a reimbursement fund for employees who are going to school. My understanding is after the semester, they apply for the reimbursement. That's what you saw on Romario's signs that were up all over. This is separate from that. This is an endowed scholarship with ACC for students that are primarily in 2 areas we're focusing on. That's the healthcare area, whether it's nurses, med techs, and also the culinary area, because we anticipate we're always going to need employees in those 2 areas. And we're hoping one day that we'll benefit from it when they're finished their schooling, maybe, or maybe even during, if we can have them work part-time here. But we'll benefit as well as everyone else will benefit. So that was our thinking behind endowing this scholarship. Right now, we have $30,870 in our scholarship fund. We were advised by the executive director of the foundation that it would take approximately $50,000 in full years of earnings to earn the $2,500 it takes for a full year at ACC. That's about a fourth of what it is at all the other major schools in Austin. So it's a really tremendously beneficial thing and a real bargain to be able to go to school for a year out there with $2,500. So I've asked Stuart Greenfield, who many of you may know, he's a fairly new resident here, and he has contributed to the scholarship fund, and he's also a professor at ACC. So I've asked him to come up and briefly talk to you about what he sees as the benefits of what we're doing with this scholarship and where we hope to go with it. Thank you very much. And I have envelopes and forms here. I'll be back at the Buildings Committee for a while, or you can always reach out to me if you need one of these and want to contribute. And I hope you'll do so before the end of the year if possible. Thank you.
I have a big mouth, so I don't need the mic. My name is Stuart Greenfield, and I moved here in June of this year. In February of this year, I received a letter welcoming me to Westminster and informing me that the average age of the 100 people who would be moving in during the Carlisle expansion or through the Carlisle expansion would be 76. I felt that this was a great welcome gift because I was now considered to be average. 40 years ago, I met Cynthia when I was working at TEC as a transient, and she was a professional. And today, Cynthia, who is actively pursuing the WRA ACC scholarship, and I teach at ACC, so we're reconnecting. One of the things I do when I teach is I explain to my students that while I am paid to instruct them, there is a more important benefit to both their grandparents and me. So by ensuring that they're better educated, that they'll have higher earnings and will be able to contribute more to the Social Security and Medicare trust funds. In fact, I bring cookies to class on the 3rd Wednesday of each month when I receive my Social Security check to pay them back for their generosity. Now, we should not be very concerned with our Social Security and Medicare benefits being reduced in the near future. But a more immediate concern to us is staffing. So our comfort at Westminster is dependent on the staff, both the culinary staff and the healthcare staff, okay? But unfortunately, with the aging of our population and COVID epidemic, the country's labor force growth is declining. There is almost twice as many job openings as there are unemployed people, both in Texas and in the US. So how do we attract qualified workers? Okay, and one of the ways to establish obtaining qualified workers is developing relationships with either local community, with ACC, or high schools which have culinary and healthcare programs. So the WRA-ACC scholarship program is a way to cement this relationship, which will benefit us directly by providing us with qualified workers, both in food service and also in healthcare. Also, individuals with more years of schooling have higher earnings, increasing again their contributions to the Social Security and Medicare Trust Fund, so that we will continue to get benefit increases over time. So as Cynthia said, I recently contributed to the fund, and I hope that all of you would consider making a contribution to this worthwhile program, which directly could benefit this program. And as Cynthia said, she has envelopes and a form to fill out. If there are any questions, or if you would like a cookie, let me know, and I will bring the leftovers back. So, thank you again.
Thank you, Steve. Okay, Pat, if you would like to come up and make your report.
Thank you, Madam President. I think this is okay. I'll make it work. I'm the chairman of the nominations committee for this year, and I want to thank my committee for their willingness to serve and the hard work that it took for us to make this slate of officers to present to you all. I'm going to recognize them, and when I call your name, if you would please stand so you can be recognized, I would appreciate it. My name is Pat Wright, in case you didn't know, and I don't wear my name tag half the time. Emily Ashworth. Is Emily here? Fred Hansen. Bill Schleuse. Carol Sykes. And Jim Woodrick. Thank you. After much discussion and discussing the benefits of everyone and everything, this committee came to a unanimous decision on the following officers for the next, that will be our officers for the next 2 years. This wind is really blowing. It was a hard decision because we have so many talented people here, but we think we came up with a really good slate of officers to offer to you. They are as follows. Bob Rudishauser, who would be our designated board representative. Tom Osley, a member at large. Nancy Collins, a member at large. Julie Cripe Brooks, a member at large. Charlie McEwen, a member at large. And Paul Youngdale, a member at large. I move that we accept this slate of officers.
Okay, is there a second? I can't see your name. Catherine McGee seconds. Discussion or nominations from the floor? Hearing
I
none.
move that the nominations committee's report be accepted and they be elected by acclamation.
Okay. Thank you, Tibby. All in favor of this slate of officers, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They are accepted by acclamation. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Would you all stand, those of you, one more time? And let's welcome them in.
But the people that are being elected are here, and that's great. I believe all of them are here. I'm sorry I didn't ask you to stand. My committee didn't show up. I'm glad you all did. Thank you.
And we have three members that I'd like to recognize and thank. Barbara Carlson, if you would stand. Barbara served as a member at large this last year, and she decided to devote her effort to being our welcoming committee chair this next year, and felt like that she needed all the time she could get to do that. So thank you, Barbara, for your contributions. And Cynthia Leach, if you would stand. Cynthia has served in so many different capacities, including she is par excellence on making sure that in our committee meetings our minutes are all correct, our motions are made as they should be, etc. And we appreciate the many years of service, and also very much appreciate that you're going to continue to do your committee, the building committee. Okay, where is our IT chair? No? Oh, okay. If you would stand, it has been an incredible pleasure. As your chair, I serve as one of the 3 designated board members, and Sheldon has been absolutely awesome in coaching me and telling me what to expect and suggesting things about how to best participate as a board member for the Westminster board. And I am going to miss you, my friend, but it doesn't mean I won't still call you. He has agreed to continue to chair the IT committee. And oh my gosh, from the little 2-man IT committee a couple of years ago to the incredible group of people that have joined him and that he has recruited, aren't we thankful for Sheldon Lloyd? Thank you so much. Okay. Chuck, we're ready for your executive director presentation.
You're doing so well without me, though. I'm really proud to see that elections can still be civil in the United States. Right? If only they could take our example. By applause, who wants the long version of the budget explanation and the increased letter explanation? All those in favor of the long version? Oh, there's a couple of you out there. All those in favor of the short version? I'm sorry. For those of you that wanted the long version, please see Sarah Lloyd in the back and she'll set up an appointment with you. Happy to. So I usually do this budget presentation every year, and I explain in my letter, the increased letter that I sent out, a lot of these dynamics, but I get into a little bit more specific here. Basically, 2023's budget is set for a 93% occupancy rate. And what will happen in the first quarter of next year is we'll have a lot of moving around. And then we'll slowly ramp up the Carlisle assisted living level. But the end result will be by the end of the year, we'll have a 93% occupancy rate, which is similar to what we have this year. And increases for 2023. And I have to tell you that if you know me at all, and most of you do, and Sarah, we try to be as good a steward as we can with all the resources that you entrust in us. And year after year, we go through this process of budgeting and we try to keep your increase as low as we possibly can. You also know what's going on in the industry out there, what's going on in the world. Inflation's 8.5%. We're paying anywhere from 8% to 20% increases in raw food costs, lots of other things. But we take all this into account and try to create a balanced budget, okay? Over the years, we've kept our increases as low as possible. We've been able to keep them 3% or lower year after year for the last 7 years. This year, we're passing along a 6% increase in the monthly service fees for independent living residents, second person fees, a 4% increase on small inventory entrance fees, so that's 650 square feet or less. And the reason it's only 4% is that we did a market study a couple of years ago where we found that we were kind of overpriced in our small inventory, so 1-bedroom apartments. A 6% increase in assisted living daily rate and a 6% increase in the Arbor daily rate. This budget also anticipates at least a 3.5% increase for all associates. That's a merit increase that we pass along every year. Sorry, I'm turning my radio off. Our projected expenses, these are the categories. Mostly what I want you to know is that the associates and their benefits are the biggest part of our increases, right? They're the biggest part of our expenses. The tight labor market has really influenced our budget over the last couple years and will continue to influence them in the future. This budget plans for increases in all associate salaries, either in the end of this year or the first quarter of next year to continue to help us stay competitive in the market. 2023 expense areas of impact, so associate increases due to labor and inflation in the market. Property insurance increases. Oh, it'd be nice if I had these on. I could probably see what this is. I only need them to read. Give me a break. Property insurance increase, of course. Raw food cost increases. And for example, butter now costs us 64% more than it did January of this year. Just to give you an example, meat is more expensive, and it typically is around 20% more than it was in January. We had an increase in associate health insurance and dental, increases in supply costs, especially medical supplies, gloves, masks, things like that. Our utilities have increased in cost, and trash has also increased in cost. And we've done some work on solar, although it's not online yet. We hope that once the solar becomes operable, that it will help decrease our electric costs, but we still have increases in gas and water that we're dealing with. And like I said, the overall inflation's around 8.5%. I wanted to show you, and I presented this at a finance presentation earlier in the year, but this is our monthly fee increases versus our competitors, and also the industry average. The last column is the industry average, and includes the life care service communities like Westminster. Our increase is 6% this year. Carencia was 7.9%, and then they passed along a mid-year increase in August of 6.4%, which, that's 14%, folks. So I understand that 6% is rough, but it's really, really good compared to the industry and the average in senior living. I talked to an administrator, an executive director, a couple weeks ago at a rental community here in town. They're passing along a 20% increase to their residents. Of all the LCS communities, that's 140 communities nationwide, our increase is the lowest in all those communities. With 2023 always comes capital projects, right? But you love projects. We're going to refurb 40 apartments. We're going to spend about almost $4 million of our capital. We're going to refurb 40 apartments. We're going to update the Windsor corridors, new carpet and paint. Windsor third floor Where the assisted living now sits, those common spaces will be converted to an associate break room space and fitness area for them. The Windsor Surgeries, this is in the skilled nursing, memory care, and assisted living will all receive a kitchen remodel. The idea there is to provide equipment that we can prepare steaks and burgers and they don't get rubbery on a steam table on the way to you if you're in healthcare. The Windsor Art Studio will be created once the assisted living moves. We're working on accessibility projects. First floor Arbor healthcare furniture is going to be replaced. We're replacing various kitchen pieces of equipment. Hybrid healthcare van will be purchased in 2023, and IT replacements and upgrades. So we're continuing on our Wi-Fi project with Spectrum and putting in WAPs in your apartments and wireless signal. And then we're also upgrading our nurse call system in the healthcare center. And that's the short version. It's over. Feel okay? Everybody all right? All right, thank you. Just an update on COVID. The health center has had to implement surgical masks for visitors, and that is because the county positivity rate has increased to unsafe levels. So if you're visiting healthcare, even as an independent living resident or assisted living, you need to wear a surgical mask when you visit those sections, okay? And make sure that you sanitize, use hand washing practices, and if you're sick, do what? Stay home. I love you all. Construction update. This is what it looked like in December of 2020. This is the Windsor infill, or what you're calling Windex. I don't like that. It's just Windsor. There it is today. It's finished. Right? I was going to show you the video, but I didn't want to bore anybody. This is what the Carlisle looked like in December of 2020. Can you believe it? And that's what it looks like today. We are on schedule still to have substantial completion of December the 29th. We expect to be using the parking garage in the Carlisle January the 16th, which is a Monday. How many people believe that? Come on. All right. Sarah does. January the 18th, we'll be moving in our first Carlisle independent living resident. Congratulations, Mrs. Miller. Yeah. And we expect to move in memory care and assisted living February the 1st through the 5th. I had a lot of questions about the Carlisle courtyard, and so I wanted to show you the plan for it and show you that I have not lied to you or misled you. The whole time we've had this little play area there, and it's gonna be okay. If your great-grandchildren fall off of this, they will bounce 2 or 3 times. Now, it will still hurt, but they will bounce. We're gonna pick up a little family picnic area here as well, some outdoor spaces to enjoy, and then the infamous dog park is right here. There is a dog park in this, and you may remember that was voted down a few years ago, but I snuck it into this. So anyway, it'll be great. Have some shade, it'll be a nice area. Updates, just in general, Spectrum cable boxes are installed and now complete. Right, Mr. Lloyd? No? Close, okay. He was the holdout, so I'm just waiting for that to be over with. Spectrum Wi-Fi the infrastructure has been wired in the Preston building. It is now in the Windsor building, so they're installing the wired infrastructure, the fiber, to support these Wi-Fi wireless access points. Keyless entry system is complete on the apartment homes. The common doors will be next, so that'll be completed over the next several weeks. Solar roof project is 90% completed on the Preston and Windsor. They'll be beginning to install on the Carlisle building, and the AC work got to be completed between our electricity, our generator, and the new solar product. The remodel of the Preston ground floor amenities is about 90%. The Hidden Treasure Store is ready and handed over. And then the annex is operating. The theater is about a day away from being completed. And we're working on the pottery studio as we speak and the woodworking shop. And yes, you will have a woodworking shop. And if you cut your fingers off, it's not my problem. Just kidding. I've had concerns mentioned to me, so. The sound system is in Harrisville Hall. And has been completed in the bistro as well. The installation of the new AV equipment in Harrisville Hall has been done but not activated. So there's the projectors. This is the new screen. This is like days away from being activated. Once we have it activated, it should improve the view quite a bit. The camera's being installed, so we will be able to broadcast what's going on in Harrisville Hall on an in-house channel. So we've been waiting for almost a year for all these products to come here, so they finally arrived and they're being installed. I hope to have it finished at least by mid-December. Capital projects for 2022 that have been completed. Just as a reminder, 40 apartments have been refurbished. We've done a few combinations this year. The keyless entry, we also did an LED lighting project, which saves us several thousands of dollars in electricity cost and tens of thousands of dollars in replacement cost. The new bistro, the rehab, the wellness clinic, the fitness studio, the locker rooms, restrooms, fitness gym, and the salon are all in line. Windsor second floor therapy remodel to admin offices for healthcare occurred, and those folks moved upstairs to the second floor last month. The Veterans Wall was installed, uninstalled, and reinstalled, and it's working well. And we're gonna build a little bit of a frame around that. We have a centerpiece that we're gonna put in place as well. The Preston Fitness Annex, Pottery Studio, Theater, and RA office, Hidden Treasures Woodworking Shop are, like I said, weeks away from being completed. And Harrisville Hall upgrade has been completed, and solar has been completed. Now, speaking of solar, well, I thought we were gonna get a good deal before. When we first looked into solar, about half of our project was going to be paid for by Austin Energy through a rebate program that they were offering. And then, about 3 months after we started with the project, the federal government decided to sign off on an investment tax credit. So we're gonna pay for another 30% with it. So the cost to Westminster in the project is about $317,000, and it's estimated to save us $1.75 million over 20 years. And that's an estimated 3% increase per year, which is probably gonna be more than that, so. 2022 has been a great year for us. And these are some of the achievements. Best Nursing Home Honor Roll for U.S. News and World Report, and that's our 14th year. 5-star quality rated for the 14th year, that's by Medicare Services. We received a gold award for A Year Like No Other, our annual report. And we received the J.D. Power for Senior Living, 3rd year in a row, Life Care Services. Experience rating, so our experience rating was decreased from 0.60 to 0.52. Nobody cares about that but Sarah and I. We like that because that means our associates have stayed safer and our work comp insurance decreases. So our utilization is less and it costs the community less. Helen Spear won the Family Elder Cares 80 over 80 and an Inspirational Senior Texan, Leading Age Texas. Ruth Sanil, Service Excellence Award from Leading Age Texas. We received the AIR Award for 10 years of deficiency-free surveys in our assisted living. Gold Hermes Award for our annual report, A Year Like No Other. And Phase 1 Windsor expansion opened on time, April 11th. 55th anniversary we celebrated in April 2022, and it's been 55 incredible years. We also had a deficiency-free financial audit and a 403B audit. Again, financials. Yeah. U.S. News and World Report Best Senior Living, Independent Living, and Assisted Living. We won that award. Deficiency, you can wait till the end, it's okay. Deficiency-free Healthcare Center Survey. Triple B Stable Affirm Fitch rating, one of only 120 communities in the country that have achieved triple B rating or better. 5-star Sinsight Resident Satisfaction Award because of your survey results. Thank you for that. Ruth Sanil, Extraordinary Women, Austin American Statesman. Sarah Lloyd, Austin Women in Business Showcase. We also won the Silver Safety Award from LCS, and we received $2,000 for safety programming. We received a 95% occupancy award for independent living in our healthcare center from LCS. Top Workplace for the 9th year in a row. Platinum Award winner for 5 decades of excellence, and we're just getting started. That was our newest annual report. And we received an award from LCS for Heartfelt Connections. It's a 2022 Bronze Award for our memory care program. And we received just last week 2022's Best Nursing Home for Rehab and Long-Term Care from U.S. News and World Report. And that's a mouthful. And I imagine we're going to win awards for this too. Thanks to your support, Westminster team has raised $123,000 for Alzheimer's Texas to support their fight against Alzheimer's. Thank you very much. And it looks like we're going to have a lot of fun in December, so I'm not going to go through this whole slide, but just pay attention to your calendars. Don't miss out on the fun events. There's something happening almost every day. Thank you, as always, and happy holidays.
Before you leave, would you tell the safety, you were telling me this morning about the safety issues with the woodworking and your hot dog story?
Okay. So there's been a few residents that are concerned about one of you going in there and chopping your finger off in the table saw. We have purchased a table saw that has safety devices on it that include a cover, and also it will stop cutting when it knows it's not in wood anymore. So if you put a 2x4 and a hot dog next to each other, and you run the 2x4 and the hot dog through the table saw, it will stop when it touches the hot dog. Now, that doesn't mean you won't get cut, but you won't lose your entire finger. And I believe in you seniors that want to use that woodworking shop. I think you're going to be just fine. Just like I think the grandkids will be fine on the playground. Right? Thank you all.
All right, well, Chuck and Sarah still back there? Okay. Thank you both this was a tough year in COVID for the several years. We just want to thank the both of you and your staff, all the associates, for just a fabulous job. Thank you so much. Chuck has been here for the last 15 of those 55, and we really can see every day the results of your experience here. And the people that don't have hot water, he was coaching personally where to go and get backup, etc. this morning. So it's really nice to have that experience. A couple of comments too. Thank you all as residents for your patience, particularly in the dining room when we had those really tough times of having to wait in lines, didn't have enough food service staff, and the food service people, from Brian all the way down, came in and were bussing tables and waiting on us and taking orders. And when you're hungry, I learned a long time ago, don't ever have a meeting when people are hungry, because it won't go well. So I'm about to let you go get some food here. But the food service staff has really done a magnificent job, and continue to do a good job in hiring and recruiting, and the ACC scholarship will help. But the other thing that will help is for you all to do star cards for any of the employees, any of the associates that do something to work on your apartment, or, they'll remember you because you did that. And in the dining room, there are those little teeny tiny cards. Use those cards to thank people for the service that they're providing in those dining rooms. That goes so much further than anything else. But also, thank you, residents, for your generosity during these tough times, that we will be able, in this room on December 13th, to distribute the RAF fund, as Gail reported. And you are welcome to come here and clap for people getting their surprise amounts, and to thank them personally. Yes, ma'am. Update on the pool. I know that the hot tub is available now, and Chuck, you want to? By the end of the week. We hope, and thank you. Let's give them a round of applause for that. And then I want to say, those of you that are manning the back committee booths, if you would slip out right now before I dismiss everyone, if you go back and go to your post to sign people up. They are available to answer your questions and to sign you up for any committees that you're interested in being on. The committee chairs will decide on who will be on their committees. They've all tried to arrange in such a way that there are slots. And we're going to try to have a slot or two for some of the new Carlisle people as they come in. And then anybody that thinks the grid is fixed and we're not going to have heating and cooling problems just needed to listen to the Lieutenant Governor the other day when he announced his agenda for the next legislative session. He said, we're going to fix the grid. We need more gas. So I am so personally grateful to be in a place where we don't have to worry about whether they get that grid fixed or not. This place has backup upon backup, and they are in place. And no matter what kind of weather comes along, we might have a little temporary blip, but we won't be stuck like Bernie and Sarah Schiff were that last round, staying in the covers in their bed for 4 days because they had no electricity, no heating, cooling, no way to stay warm, and it was just miserable to be out. So we are so blessed and so lucky to have a place like this. And the party last Friday, the holiday party, was awesome. Santa Claus was right here. For those of you that didn't get here, Santa was right here. And the associates and their families, there was one of the associates that I think brought 5 grandchildren. There was face painting, there was balloon art. It was a joyful time. But I want to promise, is Stuart still here? I want to promise Stuart we're going to have latkes next year, okay? He missed the latkes. It was a fabulous menu, but he wanted his latkes. So we're going to do that next year. Okay, thank you all for a wonderful year, and I hope you all have a very blessed holiday season. God bless you all.